your time, but O.J. Simpson, a guy with a really complicated legacy here at USC. Just any thoughts from a university standpoint, from a program standpoint on his passing this morning?
Yeah, certainly as a head coach here, you obviously know about his history and his legacy, the kind of player that he was here. And we definitely, certainly recognize that and obviously extend our sympathies to his family on their loss.
Looking after all the uncertainty this week with Bear and then today the news that Jason Zendemala is entering the transfer portal, I'm curious from your standpoint as a coach during this transfer portal NIL time, how much harder has it gotten even just in that short amount of time just to retain players and to have to work to retain players? Especially when you have a freshman offensive lineman who hasn't been here long, but decides he wants to leave.
Yeah, I mean, Zendemala was, I don't want to speak for him, but I mean, he's got a very unique background, and that played a large part in this. Bear, I don't know, there wasn't really any talks or anything. Bear's doing fine. So those two instances I don't think are examples necessarily of your question. I certainly get your question, and yeah, I mean, I think every kid's different in this age. Every set of parents is different. You understand that. It's just part of what we deal with now, and so I don't get too overly emotional one way or another when we have a guy that's thinking about moving on. This is not going to be the right fit for every single player. Like, we get that. This is a special place. It's a hard place to. You can't make somebody fit here, and that's okay. That's not a problem. It's just for us kind of on our continuous journey to find the best team and find the right fit, and that's what we're going to keep doing.
Do you find yourself spending more time just generally on retention and convincing guys to stay?
I would say as much convincing. I mean, I think you're having conversations sometimes a little bit earlier, like in past years maybe these would happen more like completely after spring, but with the transfer portal you find yourself having some more big picture conversations with these guys to discuss what you see in them as a coach, what you see potentially a role being both now and in the future, and at the end of the day, I mean, this is USC. Like, you're not going to beg people to be here. Like, this is, I mean, for every guy that leaves here, there's going to be a line of 100 people that would die to take that spot in a heartbeat. And so, we certainly want to do a good job retaining, which part of that is evaluation in the first place. But we understand it's not going to be 100%, and when it's not, we wish those guys the best, and we're kind of on to the next.
With Jason moving on, would you move a guy to center, or are you very good with Jonah and Killian right now?
Oh, I feel good with Jonah and Killian we're way ahead. I mean, that's Jason wasn't a factor to play this year for us. A good young player, but it's a long ways away from being ready to help us. So yeah, we'll certainly be looking into the portal to hopefully and we will replace that spot, and off we go.
How did the conversations unfold with Bear this week?
There really wasn't that many conversations. I don't know. I know there was a bunch of stuff on the outside. I know he felt the need to address it just because there was so much on the outside, which can kind of start anywhere and everywhere this day and age. But, I mean, kind of like they are every other week, honestly. I mean, just checking in with him. He's been a little injured out here, nothing crazy, but hasn't been able to go full go in practice. And that's been tough for him because he's dying to be out there with his teammates. He's excited to get coached by Henny and by Sean and develop and learn this new defense. And so, it's probably the biggest thing with him right now is just dealing with the frustration of not being healthy and wanting to be out there with the guys. And that's honestly been about the extent of it.
With Bear, where do you feel like his biggest area of growth needs to be over spring and into summer?
Well, he's learning, like all these guys, I mean, he's learning a new system and really obviously a very different way of playing the position than what we did a year ago. And so he's going to have to adapt and learn that, like all of our defensive linemen are. And then I think for him individually, it's a battle of consistency. There's obviously flashes of being a really good player, but the great ones, it's less flashes and it's more consistent. And he has that ability. The other area we've challenged him to grow is to continue from the leadership side. He's got a great heart. Like, I think he's really more invested in this team than maybe at any point last year where he was just kind of getting in. It was just a rush to learn it and to be ready to play. he's grabbing young guys, bringing them over to his house. He's trying to really push. He doesn't want to just be a good player. He wants to leave a mark on this place, and so we've been certainly helping that journey along, and he's been very eager.
I know Isaiah and Nate are people you brought in on the defensive line earlier in the offseason. Do you want to target that position again in the spring portal window? Or?
We might. We might. We'll certainly kind of look and evaluate spring. I mean, I think that's one of those positions that you never, are going to completely shut the door on. And some of it's going to be obviously the development of the young guys and where we feel that we're at. And I wouldn't say no, but it's not. I don't know that it's necessarily like offensive line right now, where we're obviously going to have to go make a couple moves there.
Let's do one more.
A few weeks into the spring, Lincoln just mentioned you're going to have to probably dip into the portal on the offensive line, maybe the defensive line. Any other positions that you guys are kind of looking at and potentially areas of need or to add, a player or two here and there?
There'll be a couple, but I would say O-line right now is the one that's really for sure possibly wide out just with the low numbers there right now.
Thank you, Coach Riley.
All right, thanks.